So I'd like to welcome boys and girls, third grade here at Bretton Woods. So we have Miss Haviland's class and Miss Kennedy's class. Am I right?
Yes.
Perfect. So you're here today in the library to be with us as we welcome two of our role models here in the district, in Hauppauge. I always like to share a little bit of the background here of why we're meeting. And it goes back to kind of our goals as a district, which include our connection to those around us that some, that are family members. I think to my right here maybe is an example of that. We'll get into that. And then those who are our neighbors and our community members. In Hauppauge, we think it's so important to focus on community values, about leadership, about service, about commitment. And throughout the year, we have different events, and some of you may remember some of these events. We have Veterans Day assemblies. We have Hometown Heroes assemblies and parades. Those come at the end of the year. And that speaks to our commitment as a district, from the Board of Ed to myself, faculty and staff, really our whole community, to cherish and to honor those in our community who we look to as role models and as heroes. So those events led to what you see here today. This is our third podcast. It's still something I'm getting used to be the one who's interviewing, but I'm enjoying it so much. And the podcast basically means I'm going to interview the two gentlemen here and ask them a little bit about themselves, their lives, how they decided to select careers or life paths that include service and commitment and leadership, like I said. So this is called Hometown Heroes, our speaker series, and this is our third installment of the speaker series. So the way we're going to get started is I have my notes here, and I'm going to read off of them to start, and then we're going to have a conversation with both of our guests, and then you will all get to ask some questions as well. I think our students came prepared today, maybe with some questions, so it's meant to be just an enjoyable session together. All right, does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start to my left here with John Scimeca. Can you say it in the Sicilian way for us?
Scimeca.
Scimeca. Can you guys try that? Scimeca. So
Very good.
I may go Scimeca. He gave me the green light to do either version as we go. But I'm going to read a biography about our honored guest here. Hauppauge High School class of 1980. So John entered Bretton Woods Elementary School, right? This school, God bless you, right where you are right now, in its opening year, beginning first grade with Mrs. Knobloch, and continued his education as an Eagle through graduation, as I said, in 1980. During his high school years, he played basketball, football, he wrestled, and also attended BOCES, where he studied automotive mechanics, right, working on automobiles, right? In his senior year, he joined the Hauppauge Volunteer Fire Department. So think about that. Senior year of high school, he was still in school. And then over the years, he rose through the ranks there, started as lieutenant, then captain, assistant chief, and ultimately chief of the department. And that was from 1988 through 1997, right? So 10 years as chief of the department. After graduation, he attended SUNY Suffolk and completed extensive training at the Suffolk Fire Academy and National Fire Academy, which is in Maryland. During his tenure as Hauppauge Fire Chief, he served as president of the Islip Town Fire Chiefs Council. He played a key role in helping implement a trailblazing paramedic first responder program for the town of Islip's Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Through his leadership as chief of the Hauppauge Volunteer Fire Department and his collaboration with town officials, he was appointed Commissioner of Public Education, Public Safety and Emergency Management for the town of Islip in 1997, and he was in that role where he served proudly until 2006. In addition to the public service, right? And remember, we're keeping this kind of short. We could read pages about this gentleman. He also served as a fire safety director at the Marriott in Hauppauge and downtown Manhattan, and fire safety property manager for a Long Island corporation, further extending his commitment to fire safety, emergency preparedness, and public protection. So, boys and girls, will you help me to welcome our guest here, John?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Murphy.
And I also have to acknowledge that we have other guests in the room around us, some of our teachers and administrators who are here with us as well. So I'm going to start with John, and then I'll introduce you, and we'll go in that order. So you mentioned this before we were on camera, and then I said it as well. You were here for the first year of Bretton Woods.
Correct.
Do you remember what that was like? Can you kind of picture yourself back when you were their age and what it was like in year one? And if you don't mind sharing what year that was? When you
1967.
1967. I see some. That was too easy. How did I not even see that coming? I'm thinking you're all excited about the year, and I see the faces. All right, I got it. So the 6-7 aside, what was it like, boys and girls? What was it like back then, and do you remember what that was like as a young student here?
Well, I went to kindergarten in Whippoorwill, which is on the other side of the district.
That's where I actually work, in that building.
Right.
Yep.
And after the first year, I thought, all right, I have this down pat. And then we got a notice that next year you're going to a new school. And that was Bretton Woods here where you guys are. And I was kind of nervous at first, and I was excited also. And when we came here, it was totally different. It was very nice. The teachers were very nice. They were very accommodating. And it was a really nice atmosphere. Does the school look the same to you, or is it much different from what you remember? It was first grade here for you. Yeah, correct. I was here from first grade to fifth grade, and
may even been sixth back then.
Yeah, sixth grade was down this hallway.
Okay.
And then we left here. We went to the middle school, but yeah, it was. I don't remember this being the library.
Yep.
But I do remember there was a teacher, a reading teacher, Mrs. DeSold, had her classroom just, I guess, right next to here. And we did reading in that class. And I went from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade here before moving on.
Yeah, that was common. Some school districts had sixth grade as still part of the elementary schools back then. And then, of course, you went through the middle school and into high school. Oh,
yeah,
1 year.
1 year, and then I played an instrument. So anybody that played an instrument went to the high school because of there was a music room, there was the auditorium. It was a little bit bigger and easier for the teachers to get us together.
And we were always the Hauppauge Eagles.
Correct.
So you were an Eagle.
Yes.
And obviously still part of this community. What does it mean to you to be a Hauppauge Eagle when you kind of reminisce from where you started and all the way up till today?
Oh, you feel very proud and see the traditions that are being carried on, and the different children and individuals in sports, economics, studies. That is just unbelievable, second to none. Just
out of curiosity, when you think back to being a student and the local businesses, because we always kind of compare notes about like the best pizza in town. Any of the pizza places that we go to today, Ciro's or Brancinelli's or were any of those around back then?
No.
But you had pizza back then.
But we did have pizza, and we had McDonald's. McDonald's was a big thing, but we used to go to Sinatra's.
Okay.
Which was where Mama Sbarro's is now, and Jersey Mike's.
Okay.
He was there for years, and it was
Sinatra's, which was
Sinatra's
like a pizzeria.
he was there. And where Branchinelli's is, there used to be a clothing store called Robert Hall's. I remember going there with my mom to get a suit for a special occasion.
This was before Amazon?
Yes, way before Amazon. Things have changed
Yep.
and progressed. And like I said, McDonald's, when I was in junior high school and high school, that was one of our go-to places.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I'm going to
Thank you.
Pause for a moment so I can introduce Mr. Hershberger here, Doug Hershberger.
Thank you.
I'm going to, I think at least one student in the audience here knows a little bit about my guest over here, right? Where is he?
Sean.
Sean. Sean Hersh. Sean. All right, so this will be for everybody else, and maybe there's some things in the bio that even Sean doesn't know. So Doug Hershberger is a proud graduate of Hauppauge High School, class of 1999, and a lifelong member of the Hauppauge community. Shortly after graduating, Doug joined the United States Marine Corps and reported to boot camp in October of 1999. Think about that. He graduated high school and went right into boot camp. He was stationed at Camp Lejeune.
New River,
Okay.
which is part of Camp Lejeune. It's the
Okay,
same.
just want to make sure I said
Yeah,
that right.
yep.
Okay, which is in North Carolina.
Yep.
And he served as a motor vehicle operator responsible for transporting personnel, vehicles, and critical equipment. Doug was deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom aboard the USS Iwo Jima on its maiden voyage. I'm just going to pause a second. USS Iwo Jima, what is that to the kids, for the students? Is that a boat?
It is a boat. It's an LHD-7. It's a little bit smaller than an aircraft carrier with fixed wing helicopters and
So
planes.
a huge, huge ship, though, right?
About 4,000 people were aboard.
Wow. Think about a boat that holds 4,000 people.
And that was just in the news this week.
Okay.
That's where
Oh, okay.
Maduro
Got it.
was boarded on the USS
The sa-
Iwo Jima.
So that ship is still around and still being used by our armed forces. So during that deployment, Doug supported missions across multiple countries, working alongside and training NATO forces. He also deployed several times in Spain in support of combat operations and logistics. Doug served honorably in the Marine Corps for 4 years and was discharged as a non-commissioned officer, achieving the rank of corporal in November of 2003. After spending time working on Long Island, he made the decision to return to military service. In 2008, he enlisted in the United States Army as a combat engineer and was stationed in Colorado Springs, Colorado. During his Army service, Doug was deployed twice to Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom, and later deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. While deployed, Doug served en route clearance missions, operating a mine detection vehicle to help ensure safe passage for both military and civilian convoys. He also served as a machine gun operator during patrols. Following a non-combat injury, Doug was medically evacuated to Germany for emergency surgery and was honorably medically discharged in October of 2011. Today, Doug continues to be an active member of the Hauppauge community and is the father of current Bretton student, Sean. Help me, boys and girls, thanking Mr. Hershberger for his service and for being here with us today.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to start with a question for you, and then we'll kind of go back and
Yeah.
forth here. So I actually mentioned this because I was amazed at that fact. You joined the Marines right after graduating Hauppauge High School. What made you decide to make that kind of very big decision at that point in your life?
Originally, I was going to go to the Army.
Okay.
My cousin and me were going to join together, but he didn't graduate that year. So a couple of fellow Hauppauge kids that were older than me went to the Marine Corps, Lucas Hansen and a couple other guys I can't remember their names.
Who were older?
Older than me.
Yep.
And we were on the beach, Jones Beach, and it was 4th of July. And so many people were coming up to him. He had the tattoo of the Marine Corps. shaking his hand, thanking him for his service, and I'm like, I want that. I'm not going to join the Army. I'm going to join the Marines. And then a couple months later, I went to the Marine recruiter, and off to boot camp I went.
So that was powerful for you to see how
Oh, my goodness.
citizens
Yep.
respected him and thanked him for serving,
Yeah.
right, and protecting all of us.
Oh, yeah.
That-
it
that-
was very powerful. Seeing, like, the community.
And you were
and
18
grateful.
years old?
18.
So you were young to make that decision.
Yes.
And you were a motor vehicle operator. Can you just explain that to our students, what that meant?
So I got trained in Missouri. For 3 months, I went to school to learn how to operate 5 tons and Humvees and all sorts of vehicles that we drive and transport troops and food and water to people, and how to go across the desert and bring ammo to planes and, hostile environments sometimes.
What's ammo?
Some of the ammo were bullets, some of them were rockets. Go on missions in the middle of the night, bring rockets to F-16 planes when they were at an undisclosed area, and I'd put the rockets into the F-16, and then they take off, and so the pilots can come and do their exercises.
So your role was of vital importance to make sure that our that your colleagues in the military were prepared to protect us, right? So you had a critical role in
Yes.
making sure that we were prepared for whatever we were facing
Yep.
overseas. Did that role? Did that happen during Operation Iraqi Freedom?
Yes, that was my first deployment, and when I went on the USS Iwo Jima,
Yep.
we were what's called SOC, Qualified Special Operations Capable. So we spent a year training on mass casualties, riots, and all other world events that could break out at any time and how to handle them. So
Amazing.
learn how to
Impressive.
work as a team and with every different type of situation, and always be ready and be able to adapt and overcome whatever comes along the way.
Incredible. And you were so young to be deployed at
A
that
baby.
time. All right. So thank you, Mr. Hershberger, for the introduction. We'll come back this way. So I mentioned your path through the fire department, and you had a lot of titles, a lot of roles. I think it sounded like you served in almost every leadership role within the department.
Pretty much,
Right,
yeah.
Hauppauge Fire Department. How did your perspective change as the scope increased for you? Right, so each level meant you had more responsibility. Can you maybe share with our students what that's like to have that kind of responsibility and what that meant for you as you made your way through the ranks?
Sure. So as I as I joined as a senior in high school, I had family involvement in the department. So I had some idea what I was looking or getting into. And as I joined as a probationary member, I was taken under the wing of a lot of the senior members, and you basically learn from them. You take their education and absorb it. You're like a sponge, and you learn, and you do a lot of stuff with teamwork. You work together. And it was with all of that teamwork, constantly working with like all the senior members, that you became more educated on the positions that just you go from probationary firefighter to firefighter, where you become, instead of a liability, you become an asset. And as you progress, then all your mentors that you look up to, they keep pushing you on, and you take on other leadership roles, where I took on second lieutenant, first lieutenant, and that lasted for about 6 years, and then ultimately captain. And I ran a company called the Truck Company, which is the heavy rescue and ladder company for Hauppauge out of the main house on Route 111.
Okay, sure. I know the house well.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've been there a couple of times.
Yes.
So with that, I served my 3 years as captain, and there was movement in the Chiefs ranks, and a spot opened up below, and a lot of the old timers came to me who taught me and said, "You would be a good fix for this. You should really consider running," and I did, and from there you just continue to become more of an asset to the department because of your knowledge and your response to all the community.
So a question, your uniform is so impressive, right? Boys and girls, when you see the uniform, and if we had the entire fire department together, we would see all different types of uniforms.
Correct.
And pin. Can you help us to understand, is there a way to look at your uniform and know what rank you are? Is it the pins? Is it something else?
Okay, so as you rise through the ranks, when you become a assistant chief, you get one stripe. Then you become first assistant chief, you get 2 stripes. Okay, and then when you become chief of department, you get 5.
Wow.
And all the stars on the side here indicate every 5 years you get a star.
How many stars you have there?
So I got on here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So how many years, boys and girls?
40.
Who said 40?
Correct.
Free, maybe a homework pass for him. That was quick math right there. So 40 years of service in Hauppauge Fire.
40 years of active service. After 40 years, I had to go inactive, but I'm still involved. I have 45 years total with the department.
Is there anybody that you work with there who has more stars than you?
Yes.
Who has the most stars? And how many stars?
Christopher Hirsch.
How many stars?
He's got 70 years.
Wow, impressive, right?
He's got 70 years. There's quite a number of other individuals that have 50 years.
Well, and that speaks to the camaraderie and the loyalty and the brotherhood I've seen at that
Yes.
department, right?
Yes.
You have lots of individuals who have
Been
years
around,
of service.
yeah, correct.
One other question. So I mentioned amongst all these years, you were fire chief from 1988 to 1997. And you kind of talked about this a little bit, about your mentors, but what do you think are the key ingredients, the leadership qualities to become a chief in the fire department?
You have to respect each other. You got to be willing to work as a team, because when you go to an emergency, it's not only you, it's all your team that responds, and you have to work together. And I think we've done that over and over many times, and all different kinds of emergencies, which it becomes second nature.
And if you wanted to give just advice to a third grader who wants to be a leader in their class, what would be an example of a way a third grader could be a leader in Miss Kennedy's class or Miss Haviland's class? What could they do?
They could be very kind to their fellow students. They want to treat everyone like they want to be treated, okay? And you work together as a group. And no matter if the individual has strongnesses or weaknesses, you work all together.
Does that make sense, boys and girls? Thank you. All right, Doug, coming back to you. Oh, by the way, Mr. Bilski, if you can just give me a cue so I don't mess up on time, because I want to make sure I save time for students' questions as well. You said you deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom on the USS Iwo Jima.
Yes.
What was it like to be on that? What's life like to be on a ship of that size? Can you maybe describe to our students what that's like? An average day there.
So the ship was, like I said, it held 4,000 people on it, and not everybody was on the top, so we were inside, so you couldn't tell if it was light out, it was dark out, and about once a week, we would open up the ship and let it flood, and we'd have hovercrafts that would bring vehicles in and out, and I would oversee that for hours and hours and hours each day, putting each vehicle on the ship on and off, and
What was sleeping like?
we slept in a thing called a coffin rack. I'm
Whopping rack.
very short compared to most of my other Marines, and I felt terrible for anybody over 6 foot. They were about this high and about this wide in a thin little mattress, and all you had was one little curtain. It was 4 or 5 high, and
So like big bunk beds.
yeah, just
Does anyone have bunk beds at home? So this is like not quite bunk beds. I don't think they're as comfortable, and they're certainly not as big. It sounds.
Nope. Your ceiling was about right there.
Wow. And did you get used to that right away, or did that take some time?
It definitely took time.
Yeah.
And you wanted the lower bunks because a lot of the higher bunks people would fall off and actually get hurt.
Oh boy. How did the guy on the top bunk get up there?
He had to climb on somebody else's bed to
So
get
it's
up.
like a ladder to get
Yep.
up there
Yeah.
of the bunks.
And the closest thing to privacy was just
The
a
little curtain.
Little curtain.
What do you think, boys and girls? That's something you think you could get used to? Some yeses, some nos. All right. Now, you also talked about you became a combat engineer.
Yes.
What is a combat engineer?
Combat engineer
Let's listen, boys and girls. This is important.
is somebody who goes in and clears mines and bombs. And
What's a mine?
a mine is an explosive device that people bury into the ground, and if you step on or roll over, it has and
explode.
explodes.
So it's very dangerous.
Very.
And you were someone who helped find those mines?
Yes.
Wow. How did you do that?
So I had this vehicle called a Husky, and it had metal detectors on them, and I would drive the truck down the roads, and I would listen to a noise. If I heard a noise, I would know that something was underneath the ground. And when I would hear it, I would stop, get on the radio, and let everybody know that, hey, something dangerous is under me. And I would hit a button in my truck, and it would spray paint. And then I would back off in another vehicle called a Buffalo. The Buffalo's ginormous truck would come in with claws and start digging up and
Wow.
digging up, and we'd have cameras. And if we found a bomb, we had a robot that had arms, and we would take C4, and since all the kids back,
C4 is another explosive, dynamite, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And we hook up to a wire onto a robot, and they use PlayStation controllers.
Wow.
So the PlayStation control a little robot who carried the C4, and we would put it on the mine, and then drive off, and we'd fire in the hole, and we would explode it, and make the road safe for kids trying to get to school and parents trying to go to work.
So if I was really good at Roblox on my PlayStation, could I one day think about being in the Army?
Absolutely.
One last question. I see at the airport sometimes, I think it's like either bomb sniffing dogs or drugs sniffing. Did you ever have dogs with you?
Yes, we had ELD that actually rode with us for certain missions. And
ELD.
EOD, explosive ordnance.
What kind of dogs?
It was a canine,
Okay.
and he actually found a bomb for us.
Wow.
We let him out, and he ran up and sniffed around and sat. And when he sat, that's when we knew there was a bomb there, and we were able to dispose of it without anybody getting hurt.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's why, right? Dogs are our best friends. They love us unconditionally, but they also help even those who are defending our country, right? So amazing. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Going to come back to you, John. So, beyond the firehouse, after serving as chief, you were commissioner of
Public safety.
public safety. Can you speak a little bit about what that role entailed? And
Okay, so there was a position in a municipality in the town of Islip, and I was in charge of basically the patrols of all the town properties, town hall, all the parks, all the marinas, and then the local town code enforcement, made sure that individuals who lived within the town were following the proper codes for their property. That was pretty involved. We had a couple of big storms that we had to deal with, that we were involved with. As I don't know how much and how involved the children are in the 9/11, but we were also activated to provide logistics to the city of New York at that time because of the situation
in 2001.
in 2001.
Wow.
9/11, 2001. I actually was, I left my position at the town and I had to go to the county down in a bunker.
Wow.
It's called the bunker in fire rescue and emergency management out in Yaphank. And then at that point, they started putting logistics together. What can the town provide to the city of New York? What do you have available? And then all the different fire departments, you help to try to coordinate those, which I did with coordinators, fire coordinators through the town of Islip.
So, just big picture for a second. You, after I read off your bio and I've asked you questions, it's clear your whole life has been about safety and
Fire
protecting,
yeah.
and service and protecting the community. When you think back to being their age, right? So, you were 8 years old, 9 years old, boys and girls, around that, right? What do you? Okay. Got it. When you think back to being their age, and now you see, I'm not going to ask you your age, but what would you say to your own eight-year-old self about the path you've chosen and why this has been the right path for you?
It was, like I indicated, I had family that was in the fire department, so I grew up there,
Yeah,
like some of the other individual chiefs, which you know.
yeah.
So I had that growing up, and I was very good with my hands. I was very mechanically inclined, and that helped through the years too. And I always wanted to be an owner mechanic, and I always wanted to be a fireman. So those were the paths that I took. I was fortunate to go to BOCES when I was in high school for 2 years, and right out of there, I was hired immediately to an automotive dealership, and I was very happy in what I was doing, but that soon to dried up.
Sure.
I made limousines. I built stretcher limousines for a company I worked for, and I actually built the first Trump limousine back in the 90s. And
For
President-
President Trump at the time.
At the
who
time.
wasn't president at that
Yep,
time.
Yep. And I serviced his father's car, Emmanuel Lewis, Howard Stern, a lot of big celebrities.
I know both of the Emmanuel Lewis. Any adults in the audience want to name the TV show? Emmanuel Lewis, Webster. Yes, I remember
Yes.
that well.
Yeah. So
Boys and girls, raise your hand if you've been in a limousine before. Just hands, no. Impressive. So, here's another question, boys and girls. Anybody thinking about one day you may want to be a fireman? Awesome. I see a couple of hands. Awesome. I think I saw 4 or 5 hands go up there.
when you turned 16, you could ask your parents, do any of you come to the open house in October for fire prevention? Okay, so at that time, you see some of the junior firefighters we have. They're also there. You could also have your parents get information about when you turn that age, and it's like the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, but it's for the fire service, and we help bring you along. That someday you could help us.
Love it. I love it. So, okay, so I'm seeing that we have some students who I feel like are interested in maybe asking some questions at this point. Do we have, yeah, where will they go?
Right to the microphone.
Oh, perfect. So let me see hands of who may have some questions. Okay, is there an order already predetermined?
Kennedy's class already picked who has
Okay.
questions that they're gonna ask.
You can we didn't get that far, so you can have Mrs. Kennedy's class go, and then if there's time,
Okay.
I can call on a couple of kids.
Okay. Let's start with our Buffalo Bills math whiz with the first question. So, boys and girls, when you come up to the mic with your question, I just ask you to share your first name,
that
and then
mic
you
here,
can
I
ask
think
your
so.
question. The mic is right over here right next to our Lakers fan. What's your name, buddy?
Vincenzo.
Vincenzo. Great name.
Who did you help and how did you help them?
So, want to start over here, Doug? Who did you help, and what was your second? Why did you help them?
And how did
How did you help them? We heard a little bit about this,
Yeah.
about your service, but
So, one of the memories I have is the children, yeah, especially in Afghanistan, where didn't have food and didn't have water, they didn't have toys. So I would have people send me stuff from back home, soccer balls and candy and stuff like that. And when I was out on mission, we would stop, open up, give them Gatorade, waters, because these kids, all your age, had no shoes, no food, no water, and it was heartbreaking. And it felt good to be able to give them
course.
whatever we could.
when you showed up, would they be so happy to see you when you were?
They
you
would
were-
run up to us and they start going like this, which meant food and water. And I saw, devastating
Sure.
seeing the
It's
children like
incredible
this. Yeah,
that
yeah.
you were able to have that experience.
I was out on a mission that I was going to be out for 2 weeks, and we only get certain rations. And I gave some food and water, and then some more kids came up, and I couldn't help myself, and I kept giving them as much as I could. So it was I'm glad I was able to help and bring a brighter day to some kids. And thank you for the great question.
And John, if can you think back to a fire that was a memorable one where you guys had to help a family or another
Actually,
situation?
yeah, it was in my early stages. We had a house fire up on Autumn Drive, and the family got out. All the children and the mother and father got out, and one little girl, when I was going in with the hose line, she was very hysterical. Her little puppy was left in the house. So we went and we found the little puppy. I found him underneath the bed. He was very scared, and I brought him out. And I took my air pack off and I put it on the puppy.
Like the oxygen?
Yes.
Wow.
And as soon as well, mine was compressed air. When I got out, we gave him oxygen. And by the time I left, he was running around in circles on the front lawn, and the little girl was very happy.
Oh, that is awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Good job, Vincenzo. Hands up for other questions. Okay. In the back with the glasses. Oh, wait. Go ahead. You're up. Oh, you have this controlled, Jesse?
Yeah, I got it.
Perfect. Thank you.
My name is Kelsey, and how did you feel while you were helping others?
How did you feel when you were helping others? So, yeah, just big picture, because again, I think what students are learning is, right, you both have these incredible bios, but what about it has resonated with you that you've kind of maintained these lives of service? How do you feel?
From an early age, public service and helping others has always been something I enjoyed to do. When something as simple as somebody getting bullied to all the way up to helping somebody who's in danger. in any way, and it always feels good to help others when you can, and it's a feeling that I like, and it's why I kind of did what I did, just to help as many people as I can and serve others.
Perfect. And John?
You feel very happy that you could help someone. You feel satisfied, and that you did the right thing down in your heart. And I'm sure a lot of you know what a good thing is, and how you make your friends feel if you help them.
Yeah, boys and girls, I think you can relate, right? When you have a moment where you're helping one of your classmates or your teacher, doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
Right? You always feel better about yourself. So, great question. Thank you.
My name is Lola.
Lola?
Yeah.
Great.
What did you do that made people call you a hero?
This is probably a tough question for these guys, because my guess is you probably don't live in that space yourself where you think of yourself as a hero. So we're putting you on the spot here, because that's a great question. Why would others call you a hero?
I personally would never call myself a hero, but I've worked with many that laid down their lives so we can have what we have and do what we do. Those are my heroes. I would not consider myself one, but I did help as many people as I could while I served. So thank you for that question.
Myself also, I don't believe that I'm a hero. As I indicated, and you probably learned, in 9/11, I lost over 50 friends in the volunteer service and in the paid departments of the city. As you indicated, I was a fire safety director for Marriott, which was 2 blocks south of the World Trade Center. And I had quite a number of friends that worked in the World Trade Center Marriott at the World Trade Center, and I wasn't working there at the time because I was out here, but I still did per diem work, and those are heroes. All those people that laid down their lives.
So boys and girls,
to save
as I
others.
guess, they don't consider themselves heroes, but do we consider them heroes?
Yes.
Thank
Great
you.
job, Lola. Thank you. What's your name, buddy?
Thomas,
Thomas. What question do you have?
why is helping your community important to you?
So, the theme of helping others. So, what makes that important? And even with your son here, Doug, what lesson do you want him to absorb with the way you help others?
Well, I grew up in Hauppauge, like all you guys, and this town has given so much to me. It's where I grew up, met all my friends, learned all my life lessons. I even left for a while and came back because we decided this is the only place that we wanted to live. We were in Colorado for a while, and when we moved back, my wife said we're not going anywhere other than the Hauppauge School District. So
Off camera is Mrs. Hershberger. So this is home
This
to
is
you,
home.
and helping others in this community in particular is
and
what feels
they've
right.
given us so much that we try to give back as well.
And I know you call yourself a Hauppauge resident longer than Doug. So
bit.
same theme for you with helping neighbors and helping others.
Yes, it's just fulfilling to help your neighbors and your friends, and growing up here and seeing a lot of your neighbors that you could help, get involved with, and some of them you see them in trying times, they need help, and other times you're able to help them move on.
Of course. Awesome. Thank you. Great question, buddy. Thank you.
Evelyn's class, does anyone have a question? Maybe one or two?
Sure.
Anna?
Go ahead. Oh,
No, that's okay.
go ahead. What's your name?
Hamza.
Hamza.
John, did you went to military school when you were like 8 years old?
No,
Oh.
no.
No. When he was 8 years old, he was here in Bretton Woods, third grade.
Yep.
John, when you're a chief, does like the chief answer the phone and then like the other firefighters go and like do the firefighter stuff? Or
No.
does everybody do the firefighter?
No, actually, as the chief, I got to try to get there before them, okay? And as they come to wherever the fire or the emergency is, I have to direct them to best deal with the situation. You know, sometimes it'd be like one of you guys get your hand stuck in a crib. We got to go over there and help mom take your hand out. Or, you know, if you have an unfortunate incident like a car accident, we got to make sure you guys are all right. And if you got to go to the hospital or, you know, I got to tell the guys what to actually do.
You're in charge, right, John?
I think so, sometimes.
And what's your name?
Giovanna?
Giovanna. Who do you think of in your building as maybe like the chief of the building? Who's that? He's in this room.
Building?
Yeah,
The guy over there.
in the suit in the back.
Dr. Smalley.
Dr. Smalley, right? Principal is kind of like the chief in this building. Make sense? Great question. I think we have time for one more question.
Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
Hi. Does like what happens if you're on that truck that has the metal detectors? What happens if you roll over one of those mines?
That is an excellent question. So that truck is called the Husky, and it was meant to get hit.
Oh.
Each bolt on the truck is breakaway, and it has a V-shaped hull. So when an explosion hit, it would push away the air. And I was up in a protected 6 inches of glass all the way around that was bulletproof. So the wheels would blow away, the arms, and it would roll over, and I had a hatch up top that I can safely exit the vehicle. It was meant exactly for that. Excellent question. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. So I think we're good there, right on time. So boys and girls, how was this for you? Did you have a good time asking questions and listen? So I think, what did we learn about today? Did anybody want to share maybe one thing you learned from our guests? Sure, in the back.
That protecting others is a good way to help the community.
Perfect. Protecting others, great way to help the community. My math whiz, my Josh Allen fan.
They don't consider themselves heroes.
They don't consider themselves heroes, but do we?
Yes.
Yeah. One more reflection.
That they help our world.
They help our world. I love that. That's like
Sweet.
a great way to kind of summarize it all in one statement. Our guests help our world. They help us, right? They protect us. And so can you help me one last time in thanking our guests for being here, Doug and John? Thank you. Thank you. I have to say, this has been one of the best interviews that we've had. Having our third graders here in the audience added such an impressive element. Their questions were great, and
Absolutely.
it's so thoughtful, and you guys were so great. So thanks for being here, and thanks for listening to our third installment of the Hometown Heroes speaker series.
Thank you
Take
for
care.
having us. It was an honor.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.